I'm going to be straight up here. I said Endless was the best arc in the series for me on a subjective level, but on an objective level, it's no contest that Tartarus is the best. It was the arc everyone was hyped for.
We're back at objectivity land.
Okay, honestly, what do YouTubers and fans think objective means?
It's really odd.
The only thing I can think of is they think objective means looking at it by taking your feelings out and just looking at the things on the page and coming to a conclusion based on that. Mm-hmm. But even looking at things on the page, it's still subjective of what you think is good because it's still putting your own bias into it, even if you don't mean to. Unless it is something that you have no prior experience in. Like if you hear music for the first time, you can be objective with that because you've never heard what music sounds like, so you don't know if it's good, bad. You can just go, I think it's good based on blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But if you've heard two songs, no matter what, it's based on what you already heard from that first song. Objective is pure facts. You look at the facts of something. TVs projects moving images. Yes. Yeah. That is a fact. That is objectively looking at what TVs do. Now, subjectively, you can go, what's the best TV?
It's very odd that he would say this. Now, did he say it was objectively the best, or it is considered objectively the best?
Okay.
I need to get his exact verbiage.
I'm going to be straight up here. I said Endless was the best arc in the series for me on a subjective level, but on an objective level, it's no contest that Tartarus is the best.
Okay. He's saying that it has the least of... When compared to everything else, it has the least amount of flaws and the most amount of good things. That's what I'm guessing that he means by it's objectively the best.
But that's subjective.
Really, and we would have to like put everything up against each other, like, oh, here was this plot hole or this unexplained thing over here, and this over here has 3 unexplained things and 0 plot. You would have to do that in order to be objective about it.
Now, I can see if he's going, even doing what you said, you put it against, it's your thought of what is good and bad and all of that. That's still subjective.
Why should one thing weigh heavier than the other?
The best he could have said was consensusly the best. As in, the most people believe it is the best of the arcs. That's the best you can give, because even that is not objective. Objective, see, too many people want to say objective, so it can't be argued against.
Yeah.
Because, so many times you hear people like, that reviewer wasn't being objective enough. It's a review. The entire thing is about subjectivity. Unless you're going, the game it runs at 1080p, 60 frames a second. It is the main character's name is this.
It was developed by this.
That's objective things. The second you go, I didn't enjoy, or I think this is bad or good, you're going into subjectivity. It's no longer an objective review. These people are ridiculous.
It's nuts.
But what he's going by subjective and objective here is subjectively for him, Endless was the best because that's the best feeling he got. That's the one he liked the most. It was about how he felt about the arcs. Whereas he's looking at it from a critical eye for Tartarus, so it's objectively the best. Mm-hmm. It's not the definition is not correct.
You still gotta quantify it. You can't just like objectively the best and just drop that and move on.
The arc everyone was hyped for because as a collective, it was pretty outstanding.
Wait, pause. It was the arc that everybody was hyped for because it was outstanding.
No, let's see what he said.
Everyone was hyped for because as a collective, it was pretty outstanding.
As a collective,
from the beginning,
it was
you could
pretty
tell.
Outstanding.
Okay, hold on. So, people were hyped for this, which means they had preconceived notions of going into it to be hype. But you're going, at the end, it was the most good throughout.
Maybe he was talking about manga readers going to anime like, I can't wait for this to be adapted.
What type of stupid shit?
I don't know. He's just saying stuff like everybody was hyped for this and collectively and all. What does that mean? What I don't like totalities like this. Like everybody was hyped for.
Yeah.
You've got no kind of studies. You've got no sort of Reddit posts or what. Just the simple Twitter thread from like 3-4 years ago of like what's the arc that you're most hyped for,
or even something like the arc first comes out and you go to Reddit or Twitter or something, you see all these posts just like, holy crap, this thing is gonna be so hype. I'm already getting excited just based off what's going on so far. I can't wait to see how this plays out.
But just saying that just means nothing.
Like, I can understand for something like Wano, where we've heard it from so far back, like the hype is coming for something like that.
Get to this, and
like we've heard what Impel Down is, but we didn't hear what the Punk Hazard was. So why would I go? This arc is gonna be super hype, yo. I don't.
Or because as a collective, it was pretty outstanding. From the beginning, you can tell this isn't going to be a normal, lighthearted fairy tale story. You know why? It starts with the entire Magic Council being killed along with Lahar, leaving Doran...
We know of Lahar. We have seen him in 2 arcs up until now, so that's fine. The Magic Council mean nothing. They are a bunch of people who do not affect the plot really in any way, and they were killed, and nothing is made of it really in the world, because after this arc, it's a 1-year time skip.
See, you could say that, but couldn't you say the same thing, like, once they got back to Fairy Tail and saw the whole guild was destroyed, you're going, this isn't going to be like the regular happy-go-lucky arc?
Because that's our house. That's our house.
Yes,
we are Fairy Tail members. But yeah, this means absolutely nothing. Because like I said, after the time skip, they're just like, oh yeah, we just got new Magical Council members. And it's not like there was anybody that we knew, like an assistant to Jallal's friend or anything like that. It was a bunch of people that affected really nothing up until this point.
And we don't even know what they really do, because somebody brought up the thing of Deliora, where it was just like you destroyed, and then you were like, yeah, there's a whole Magic Council where that
somebody
was
on our Discord was just like, why didn't
it was in Discord comments.
What?
It was in the comments, not
it was
Discord.
in the comments. Yeah, they were just like, why didn't they like dispatch anybody against Deliora? It's just a giant monster. And I'm like, yeah, it had to attack at least twice when it killed Gray's family, and then when it attacked again, so they could go, hey, let's go get Deliora. And nothing was made about this. No guilds, no Magical Council, and I never thought about that. I'm like, wow, that's there, and there's no line of just like, yeah, he was too strong. They were working up the way to like blast the ether cannon or whatever. There was just nothing. I'm like, wow, that's really bad.
I mean, that town is already wiped out, so why not just blast them?
And well, collateral damage, that sucks, but we gotta do what we gotta do.
They were willing to do that against just Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
Why not do it against, this giant monster destroying towns?
To watch as the only other living member is slowly killed. The guy who destroyed the place is Jackal, one of the 9 demon gates of Tartarus, the final of the 3 dark guilds from the Barm Alliance. He and his 8 colleagues are all demons from the Book of Zeref, led by their master Mard.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
You gotta up the stakes. It's just like, oh, these aren't your normal dark guild. This is advanced dark guild.
What a reference. But this is very much like how I feel like people dislike Thriller Bark, because it's like they expected more escalation after Ernest Lobby and CP9. It's just like, no, let's dial it back and just have this chill, like, kind of fun little Thriller Bark arc. And they're just like, I'm not about that life.
But here it's just gotta up more. It's not like, oh, this is a dark guild with 100 members and they're bums, but then you got these 6 or 7 of the baddest mother you done ever seen. No, it's just these 9 demons from the Book of Zeref, and we've already seen demons from the Book of Zeref. They're very powerful, and it's 9 of them now.
What are we gonna do?
He and his 8 colleagues are all demons from the Book of Zeref, led by their master Mard Gear, with the intent of summoning Zeref's most powerful demon, E&D. After that attack, Mr. Yajima, a kind old man and friend of Makarov from the old Magic Council, almost dies to another of the demon gates when his restaurant is attacked and destroyed. Loxus and the Thunder God tribe are on the job, so they beat him, but before dying, the demon turns into anti-magic particles called bane particles, which when
That is the first time that this has been established in the story. It comes up 2 times later. 3 times. Once when that dude comes back and just like, I'm going to do the Bane particles again. Another time in the final arc where Laxus is just like, yeah, I'm still suffering from those Bane particles. And then in 2 chapters, they just get removed from him. And the dude that does the Bane particles, he comes back because in the final arc, it's just like, yeah, you remember all them bums from the previous arc? Yeah, I got all their curse abilities, so I can just do the Bane particles as well. Great. 9 abilities in one dude, and he is punched to death.
As it should be.
Yep, that's the only way he could have gone out.
Fairy Tail is nothing if not consistent.
Will decay the magic from within them and kill them from the inside. Laxus tries to stop it by consuming as many Bane particles as he can, but
they say it quite clearly. Just a little bit is fatal. There are people there, like Freed and the little council do, who are just sitting there breathing. They're choking, so they've inhaled it, and they are perfectly fine. Laxus just goes, Dragon Slayer's lungs are special, never established before, and he sucks up so very much of it, and he just has a little bit of a cough later.
And I got the black lung pop.
That is a great line, but it's also great because the people looking at him. It was like, this piece. But yeah, it's just, this is such a very forced moment of, look, Laxus is sacrificing himself for this unestablished thing with this unestablished dragon lung power, and it's supposed to kill you with a little bit, and he sucks up so much, and he's still feeling the effects a year later, and they get removed almost instantly. It makes no sense.
It feels like a lot of Fairy Tail could be boiled down to, it was a very forced moment.
That is absolutely correct.
As many Bane particles as he can, but over 100 people still die from lingering particles. With Laxus and the tribe out of...
Lingering particles.
Lingering particles.
They're hacking up a lung right next to the dude.
Dude blew up right in their face, and they're just like, oh, let me just get this dust off my shoulder.
Still die from lingering particles. With Laxus and the tribe out of commission, Fairy Tail discovers Tartarus is going after all former council members for some reason. In an attempt to help, Fairy Tail divides into teams and goes off to protect them. First up, we got Natsu taking on Jackal, and at first Jackal has a clear advantage with a different type of magic called curses. What are curses? They're magic, but better. That's what I got from it.
That's what you got from this perfect, objectively best arc? The power system that 9 people are using, and you just go, it's magic but better. So, where are the stakes? What is the limitations? We know that people's magic can run out. Can people's curses run out? Is there like a counter curse magic or anything? Because you got the Nakagami armor, which breaks the law of magic. Is there something like that for curses? That's what I got from it. Dude, that's terrible.
Why is it a power stronger than magic?
Why? Who cares? Because he doesn't even understand it. Point 1.
And do they explain how you get that over regular magic?
How? Is it you are cursed with it as it's implied, or can you learn it? Or no, you can learn it. No, maybe you can't, because they said that Gray's father learned the Dragon Slayer, not the Dragon Slayer, Demon Slayer magic. But is that curse?
I don't know. I think it's just Demon Slayer magic. It's not necessarily because like God Slayer magic. I don't think that's like light magic or like holy magic, I should say. So I don't think so.
So we don't know how it's learned, how it's put upon people. If it's just a Book of Zera thing,
or if it's something that demons could use, which would not make sense because you would think that Mirajane could use it.
Hey, whatever, objectively best.
It comes from the same source as magic, but curses carry a darker side to them overall.
Just no explanation of anything.
Nope.
They come from the same source, but they're different for some reason.
And better.
Hey, let's all use that. I don't know how.
Well, you know.
With Jackal in particular, touching him causes a magic circle to be placed on you that explodes on impact. Natsu solves the issue with the same way he would solve most issues if he could, by punching Jackal, then consuming the flames caused by the explosions.
By most if he could? No, that's how he does it all.
Yes.
Punching and eating.
Yes.
That is what Natsu does to win.
And here was that fight. It was, they were standing in a house, the house exploded, and nobody was hurt, and Natsu was just like, ooh, good thing I ate that. And then Jackal went, okay, so I can just touch you and explode you. He does, and Natsu explodes. He touches him again, and Natsu's like, well, I'm going to just eat it. And then Jackal's like, what the f-? And then he punches him, and then he goes, well, I'll just blow myself up then.
The flames
Great
caused by
fight.
the explosions. With nowhere left to run, Jackal attempts to blow up the entire village in a final send-off, but Happy swoops in and carries him up to where he can't hurt anyone, saving the day. You might think these guys are dying a little too quickly and easily, and yeah, that's because they have
Pause. Just nothing, you're not going to say anything about that? His explosions were enough to blow up an entire house. Happy took it face on, and he's just got an afro, and he's fine, and you're moving on. Objectively the best.
So, why should we have been afraid for that village?
Yes.
If Happy gets away pretty scot-free.
Yes.
Being, at worst, 8 feet away from it.
Chambers that allow them to come back at any time after they're dead. As long as this lab is up, they're immortal.
Bruh, this feels very much like Hunter x Hunter, the fake ants coming out of the pods, and it's just like, oh, I've got this power.
Yeah, it's a big whatever.
After they're dead. As long as this lab is up, they're immortal. In other news, everyone else failed. No one made it in time other than Elfman and Lizana, who got a front row seat to the death and puppeting around of a former council member. At the same time, Doranbolt's doing some of his own research into Tartarus, and discovers through Cobra that their big plan is to kill former council members with a body link spell to a weapon called the Face. For this info, Doranbolt lets all of the safes back out, but before I get to that side plot, the only other members to make it to someone before they're dead are Mira and Erza when they find the chairman of the Magic Council is fine. In fact, he's more than fine. He's in cahoots with Tartarus and tricked Erza and Mira into drinking drug tea so that he could bring them back to Tartarus with him. Erza is tortured for info with
This well-established character is evil.
The main dude of all of the guild, of all the council. We've known him for so long.
How could this have happened?
I can't believe this. I can't believe he debuted evil.
back to Tartarus with him. Erza is tortured for info with some weird hentai squid after Tartarus discovers Jellal is the last one with a body link, but she...
Of course he is.
Yes, of course
Why
he is.
wouldn't he be?
He was a member of the council, and now it's just like, well, we gotta get Jellal as well. Because Jellal!
Why wouldn't we need Jellal?
It's Jellal time. What time is it? It's just 12 numbers that are all Jellal.
My goodness, just look at the time.
Know where he is. Natsu tries to storm Tartarus and gets frozen by the guy who accidentally froze over Sun Village, leaving only Happy to run back to the guild for help. At the guild, Elfman is forced and mind-controlled by the demon gate he and Lizana ran into to either blow up his family and home that raised both of them, or be forced to choke his little sister to death under the whim of this single demon gate. Kana tries to stop him, but the bomb Lacrima's already been set, so she uses her magic to put all of Fairy Tail into a deck of cards.
Don't shake your head.
This was an ability that Kana has never displayed before. In fact, the moment that she used it, she had to explain it away by, hey, Erza's friend taught me this move. This move is never done again. It is done to prevent something catastrophic from happening. Machina is such a bum that he introduces a problem and then he introduces a solution.
Dude, offer it free.
Free. It is ridiculous. He didn't go, how do I, with the members at hand and their abilities, make a way to destroy Fairy Tail and for them all to get out? He just goes, well, this dude taught me this move right after she uses it. It is ridiculous. It is so infuriating. And the fact that he just moves on from it just tells me how he feels about these types of things, because that is something That was a point in my fairy tale panel. Because it was so egregious. The fact that she just went, yeah, homeboy taught me that. When? Was it difficult to learn? Apparently not, if you could just do it raw and then capture all the fairy tale member in cards and then fly away with it. It's nuts how bad that is.
Hey, what was that fairy tale panel called?
Fairy tale. Objectively the worst shonen of all time. And I stand by it. I don't stand by it because further information was introduced. But at the time, it should have been.
What do you think is the worst now? Oh yeah, we got a whole list for it. At the time, yes.
At the time, yes. And I probably should have objectively the worst shonen that I've ever seen. That's probably what I should have done because I don't know watching everything. But yeah, crap like this. This is what fairy tale is. It is just
at its core.
At its core, it is. I don't know. You just do it. Dang. Hey, guess what? Gray's dad has ice magic, demon slayer ice magic, which he just learned after he was killed, and then a demon went to his body and was just puppeting him. So he learned it to such a high degree within. Gray was a child, so let's say 10 years, to the point where he is in a very high-ranking dark guild. And he has telepathy for some reason, and he has teleportation for some reason. You know why? Because the story needed him to have all three of them things. It's terrible.
Disagree.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Disagree? Well, you're right. This is objectively the best.
Tail into a deck of cards right as Tartarus is floating over them. Oh, right, by the way, Tartarus is on a giant moving cube of its own gravity. That's besides the point right now. So Kana puts everyone into these decks of cards and gives them to the X-Seed so they can fly up to Tartarus and release everyone on the cube to help in fighting. The guild hall blows up, but everyone is safe. Meanwhile, the chairman finds a way to transfer the final body length.
Oh, but now we don't care so much that the guild is destroyed.
No, it's fine.
And remember how our heart, because that's our home,
that's our
and
home.
blah, blah. And now it's just like, whatever, it's just a bunch of wood and that we could always rebuild. Cool.
Now, here's another problem. He just goes, the chairman somehow finds a way to transfer the key from Jellal to somebody else. So why did you need to kill everybody? Why did you need to go, where is Jellal, if this was an ability that could be done like 2 chapters after it was the fact that we need Jellal is introduced? It was just like, yeah, we can just transfer it over.
Didn't even seem like it was that much of a process.
It was basically just a press of a button. He introduces something and then just goes, I don't know, man, just transfer it to somebody else. We can't kill Jellal, but we still need face to go off. How do I do that? Oh, I'm a bum, so let's just say this dude presses a button and transfers the key to somebody. Why didn't he do that for everybody if he could do it at such a long range? And
especially since we got somebody in the lab that's essentially cloning people.
Yes, and it's not like he need any of his blood or hair or anything. He could just do it. Why'd you need to go off and kill everybody? Hey, look, it's Jellal. That's his answer.
To help in fighting. The guild hall blows up, but everyone is safe. Meanwhile, the chairman finds a way to transfer the final body link to himself and is promptly killed so the face can activate. Really, he should have thought about transferring it to someone else in the room so as not to be immediately stabbed. Meanwhile,
no, but it's perfect, so don't point out that problem.
Yeah, no.
Perfect.
Objectively the best. This dude is just stupid and was murdered. He was introduced here as an evil person and he was just murdered unceremoniously. Perfect.
Thought about transferring it to someone else in the room so as not to be immediately stabbed. Meanwhile, as this is going on, Aration's Sace is free once again. It'd be easy to think that they'd just go on another rampage with Brain as the leader, but nah, you know the old definition of true insanity, repeating something over and over, expecting it to change, so Midnight handles that by putting a hole straight through his pops. Jellal and Melody subsequently show up, not to put them back in a...
Cobra's condition for telling them about Face was all 6 of us are released. Why would he be like all 6 of us are released and then immediately murder him? Why did he just not go all 5 of us are released and he rots in prison? Or all 5 of us are released, hey you pieces, and then stab him? Why? It was just a fake out. That was a fake out for a couple of seconds and then he's killed and nothing is made of it. And hey, look, It's Jellal.
That's the point here.
Applause sign lights up. Hands go together. Whooping commence.
Cage and take away their freedom, but to extend a hand towards joining their guild. He holds his own against all of them, but out of nowhere, Zero comes out of Brain's body and attacks Jellal. Obviously, it's just another, albeit more powerful one of Midnight's illusions, but Jellal sees right through it by damaging his own eyes. With them defeated, the new Arashi Cinco all agree to join Jellal and Melody in crime Sorcière under their actual names, Richard, Sorino, Sawyer, Macbeth, and Eric, no matter...
Just no word about how he defeats 4 of them at the same time.
Jellal.
When one-on-one fights, they were barely scraping by. They had to use strategy and hey, let's get them outside of this field and shoot an arrow at them and hey, here is this unbeatable magic that I'm just gonna implant into your mind. Things of that nature, and Jellal just handles them.
Jellal.
I hate him so much.
I don't see how.
He's terrible.
Disagree.
I hate him so much.
Macbeth, and Eric, no matter how much less cool those names sound. Back on the Tartarus cube, Natsu and Erza break free. Natsu finds Zeref just sort of randomly showing up to enjoy the show and to tell Natsu about E&D. Apparently it was so powerful even Igneel couldn't beat it. Zeref doesn't show himself to the demon gates that want to get to him because he wants to see how everything will turn out before then. With Erza, she makes a huge hole in the cube for the rest of Fairy Tail to climb into, and Lucy, Happy, and Natsu all reunite in time to fight one of the demon gates. This guy's special quirk is that he absorbs the...
He missed out a very important moment. They capture old girl that was torturing Erza and put her in the same chains that Erza was in, and then she just snaps him. And then they commence the fighting. I don't know why she's able to snap him. I don't know why Erza was not able to snap him, but we need them to fight, and we need them to fight right now. So I'm just going to do this.
Time to fight one of the demon gates. This guy's special quirk is that he absorbs the souls of people and gains their powers, and he just so happened to come across Hades' old body and take his power. Natsu discovers that his weakness is actually rock, since it's something he can't absorb, so Natsu smashes a bunch of pillars onto him, and the demon releases all the souls he's captured, including Hades, who in his final moments tells Natsu to tell Makarov to use Lumen Histoire for the crisis. At the same time, Wendy
I'm good now.
He got on the mic and told the crowd, he's good now.
Location of the face and went looking for it with Carla, but you guessed it, she has to fight a demon gate. Wendy's always had a hard time keeping up with everyone else in speed and power, but as the series has gone along, she's really grown. In the beginning, she only really supported others. In Daedalus, she fought alongside them. In Magic games, she could fight a battle to a draw on her own, and now with all the ether nano in the air around the face, she consumes it to do none other than finally achieve Dragon Force for herself. This moment is so hype in the show, it's amazing. Wendy uses Dragon Force and beats the demon gate while destroying the face in the process all on her own. It's such a proud moment for her. Unfortunately, the face's activation timer is still going off, and with not enough time to get out, Carla and Wendy prepare to die by using a destruction circle on the face to finally blow it up. They're saved by Doranbolt, thankfully, but if shit didn't just get...
How? Very convenient. How very convenient that he is able to...
I'm sorry, do you shop at 7-Eleven? Do you shop at the corner stores? Sounds like you're a fan of convenience, except when it's not convenient for you.
I'm just saying. I'm just gonna... And this dude just does this so many times throughout the series. Because in the next arc, he just like... Makarov comes up against Zeref. He's like, please don't attack us. And Zeref just goes, no. And he's just like, okay, I'm just also gonna kill you. And then he just does his big energy blast. And then, oh, here comes Doranbolt. He keeps doing this. It's not interesting. It's not good. How did he find them? Did he know they were there? How did he know exactly at that point in time to get them? It's too convenient. I hate it.
Back on the cube, Mira gets out of her prison of sorts and destroys the regeneration lab. That way, the 9 demon gates can't respawn anymore, and have to finally start playing on hardcore like true gamers. If you aren't keeping track, that means that so far, Forearms and Transformer Guy are down for the count. Looking at Mira in the lab, she takes over the ability of her opponent using her Satan's Soul takeover magic to make Elfman sneak attack her and win in the end. Mira still doesn't want her to die, so she absorbs Sayla to be
one of the 9... What demon gates was it?
Yeah.
A Book of Zeref member just gets punched one time
From behind, though.
and is defeated.
It's like Frankie.
It's just one punch.
Weakness is his back.
Oh no. Oh, how am I going to defeat this person? Just punch him. That's it. What? It's fine.
another one of her takeovers. With the news reaching Margear, he punishes the dominatrix chick that tortured Erza for her pupil failing, and activates Allegria, a spell that binds everyone in a weird type of vine other than Lucy, and turns the cube into something called the Plutogrim. Now Lucy's being hunted by the rest of the gates, and pushes herself by opening 3 celestial spirit gates at once to fight multiple demons. She can't keep it up, of course, and it looks like Jackal and Shark Guy are gonna kill her, but Aquarius comes up with an idea. Celestial spirit wizards who've achieved a deep bond with their spirits can use the key to summon the Celestial Spirit King, the most powerful of all the spirits.
Pause. This is just introduced here to fix an issue, and it does. And
That's pretty convenient.
And then the Spirit King looks over to Lucy and goes, "Good job, Lucy. Here's some of Aquarius' powers." And she gets Aquarius Star Dress. This is just introduced here and is used to defeat one of the 9 demon gates. This is not good.
I disagree.
You have to establish this stuff.
Did they not establish it right before they did it?
I mean, if you look at the Kana thing, she did it. She established it after she did it.
Well, I'm not talking about that.
Well, you've lost your chance to argue against that. That's
way in the past.
Yeah, this is
you weren't punished before, so why should you be punished now?
This is just really bad. She just goes, "Yeah, you could just summon the demon king, the Spirit King, just by break the key, and then that's it." And also it needs to be a particularly strong bond. Doesn't she have a strong bond with all of them? Shouldn't that just be 11 separate Spirit King summonings? You don't need Capricorn like that.
What's she doing?
Who's bumping Capricorn? Get him out of here.
The maid girl that digs, like what
the
she
sheep.
doing?
You got 3 Spirit Kings. Because that's all this is!
Summon the Celestial Spirit King, the most powerful of all the spirits. The cost is that the key will be broken and unable to be used ever again. Aquarius being Lucy's oldest spirit...
No, it's not unable to be used ever again. In the very next arc, it's 2 arcs from now, but at the Avatar arc or whatever. It's just like, yeah, my key reincarnated somewhere in the world. Go find it. It's out there. And it's not like she would never see her again because she has free pass to and from the spirit world. And she's got her boyfriend, Scorpio, just sitting there. So just like, is Aquarius all right? Okay, cool. She is.
Tsundere friend gives her the idea to make Lucy destroy her key, and though Lucy is reluctant about it, she activates the gate of the Spirit King, and he comes blazing through the sky to cut the Plutogrim in half and send it falling. The Spirit King then takes on Margear by himself and gives Lucy Aquarius' power to fight Jackal. He only stops after...
Free. She was out of magical power, as she had summoned 3 separate spirits. This was established.
At the same time.
And then the Spirit King just goes, "Here you go." And then by herself, she did that big magic that in the last arc, she needed the Gemini to combine Gemini's magic with hers in order to do it. She just does it for free and defeats one of the 9 demon gates.
Jackal and collapses from exhaustion, because the spirit's length being summoned is paramount to the magic energy of their wielder. With the last of his time in Earthland, the Celestial Spirit King cancels out Allegria and frees everyone to fight the remaining demon gates.
Great.
This moment
he can do that.
Yeah.
He can totally do that, because he's the
not just do
motherfucking
it?
Spirit King. So this solved the issue of, oh no, we got all these demon gates breathing down the back of our neck. Summon the Spirit King. It defeats the floating castle thing. It frees everybody. It gives Lucy the power to defeat one of the 9 demon gates. And it holds off Margear for a while so that he doesn't kill everybody. These are the things that it does with this thing that was just established in this very chapter.
It's pretty cool.
I wonder, does he know the meaning of a Deus Ex Machina? Because we've gotten like 8 of them in this arc. Legit out of nowhere. Legit solving the issues. Multiple issues. Legit just gifting Lucy a power, which she uses all throughout the next arc. Come on now. Objectively the best? By what standards?
By facts.
By facts. 100% facts.
Everyone to fight the remaining demon gates. This moment is such an amazing scene for Lucy. She achieves one of her few truly amazing moments by sacrificing a friend she's had her entire life to summon the king of the...
Pause.
Did he say truly amazing twice in 2 sentences?
This moment is such an amazing scene for Lucy. She achieves one of her few truly amazing moments by sacrificing a friend she's had her entire life to summon the king.
See, this is another thing where it's just like the moment matters over everything else. And it doesn't. The emotions do not trump the logic of this scene. How does breaking a key summon the Spirit King? Why does it have to be the gold keys? Why does it have to be you have to have a bond particularly strong with the spirit? Why does he come at that exact moment? The emotion does not trump the complete laziness. This is really bad for this to do.
It truly is lazy. It's just like, I don't know. Okay, I want to do this. It's like he has the outline of everything he wants to do, but as opposed to like Toriyama, who has people just fill in the blank, he's just like, I don't care about the blanks. Let's just get to it.
Let's just do it. How? Oh, everybody's trapped. They're up in a floating castle. Lucy is staring down the barrel of 3 demon guys. What do? The key, if you break it, the Spirit King comes and he gives Lucy the power to defeat the demon gates, and he frees everybody.
Print it.
Okay.
Print it.
Okay.
Where was his editor?
Where? Just like, you didn't establish this at all before? You're just gonna do this? For free? What does it cost Lucy? Oh, her friend is gone forever. Oh, so we're never going to see Aquarius again? Nah, she's going to come back. Her key is out in the world. Oh, why didn't Lucy go get it? Well, she doesn't know. Does Aquarius know? Yes. Will Aquarius tell her? No. Why not?
Yes, she will tell her.
No, she won't tell her where it is.
No. Yeah.
She'll tell her that it's out there, but she won't tell her where it is. Why? I don't know.
Because if we're true friends, you'll find it yourself.
That doesn't make any sense.
The feelings.
And I was talking to Chris like, okay, so what does it mean for the key to be reincarnated in the world? Is somebody going to be unlocking their door just like, whoa, what the is this? Does it just appear in a forest somewhere? Are we just making matter? Because it's a golden key. It's such an emotional moment though. Objectively the best, perfect. What am I talking about?
By sacrificing a friend she's had her entire life to summon the king of the celestial spirits and take on Jackal all by herself. She saved the day all on her own, and no one was expecting it, but it was great. After every...
She didn't. She threw the ball to the king. She basically did an alley-oop, and you just went, she scored the winning basket.
All by herself. No. It's... And you see how we just described that? Just like, oh, she beat her by emotional. She getting rid of her longtime friend. What about all the problems?
What problems?
What problems?
What problems, sir?
How can you critique the last filler arc, but then just be like, yo, this is fine?
But it was great.
We've seen you have the ability to critique an arc.
But this is the difference. The filler arc, was that the one where Machina oversaw it? Or no?
No, that was
okay. Yeah, that's the point.
He did say the arc that he oversaw it was good.
So it's like Machina himself can do no wrong, and the anime is just soiling the robes of the king, Hiro Machina, with this nonsense and up our characters.
It's very disingenuous to just not go, yo, this is kind of contrived, at least. He just brushes over it, and it's ridiculous that he would do so for the emotion.
And no one was expecting it, but it was great. After everyone's freed, it comes to light that there are over 3,000 faces besides the one Wendy destroyed, and it'll take a lot more to get rid of them all.
They established that there was one of them. None of the council members ever said, what are y'all going to do about all the 2,099 other ones? 999 other ones? Like I said, they established that it was just the one face, and then it's just like, hey, no, it's just 3,000. It's a lot more.
Okay, so what are we gonna do?
Okay, but isn't it that this is like a contingency that the Magic Council uses if magic is too powerful, that they could just shut out all the magic in the world? Why do you need so many if one can do the job?
Maybe one does the job in an area and they need to cover the entire.
One for the entire world.
Oh.
And if it was like you said, one does it for a little area, there was like 15 of them in that one shot. Are you telling me it's a 5-foot radius? If that's the case, you can break them mugs down one by one. You'll get there eventually. All you need to do is chip away at one of them enough, and then hey, I got magic powers again.
Is that the only magic console?
That's a problem if it is.
That's what I was thinking. Because they would have to preside over the entire world. And it's not like it was like, oh, we're getting a new magic console, or the other magic consoles are taking on the responsibility of this one until we get some new members. As far as we know, there's only one magic console.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, let's look this up in Fairy Tail.
I did not. I guarantee you that's the only one. And Machina is such a bum that he just goes, yeah, it's just a dictatorship. Because it's the kingdom of Fiore.
The magic council is the ruling body of magic.
Son of a bitch. You can't do this.
With different hierarchy branch systems depending on the continent.
You can't do this.
So the magic console, so it's like there's a leader for each quadrant or continent, but the magic console itself is...
We have not seen the leaders for the quadrants or anything, to my knowledge.
The main ruling body of the entire magic world. Almost utmost control over it.
Jesus Christ. And there's not... One Piece does the world government and then 2 other systems so that nobody gets too much power. Here it's just like, it's just them. Everybody's just exploded. Now what do we do? Well, we got no ruling bodies now.
Rules all of the legal guilds scattered throughout the Earthland, overseeing them and keeping them in check. And they are responsible by the events caused by mages. Also possessing the right to punish mages who break the law. Yeah. Magic is banned for assassination.
That is terrible.
Has the right to apprehend mages charged with crimes anytime.
That is terrible.
Gray once said, if something is white, once a council member says it's black, then it becomes black. That's how much power they have.
Uncontested power.
Uncontested power. There's no checks and battle system.
No Shishibukai, no Navy, just them on the top. Ruling everything. Making all the laws. In Timro Island, they just go, alright, we nuking Fairy Tail. We nuking the Fairy Tail Island too. So that no other member of Fairy Tail will ever have power.
Ever.
Do it. We are the World Magic Council. This is terrible.
Can't worry about that right now because Erza is fighting a new version of Minerva that was modified in the now destroyed lab. During this fight, we get to know her backstory of why she always wants to battle so hard to win. As a child, Giemma forced her to always fight to win or be punished. Only the strong survive, and if she couldn't make it, she just wasn't fit to be his daughter. He got her to kill family friends and survive out in dangerous forests at a young age, so it was ingrained into her that she would need to win if she wanted any rest. Erza understands this and doesn't blame her for everything.
You are forgiven.
Hand on the forehead. You are forgiven, my child.
I am the sad. You are the forgiven as well. This is how do you get away with this? Just going. You tortured somebody. What does that have to do with strength? You said I was bored, so I just started torturing this chick that I kidnapped. That's both of y'all friends. What does that have to do with strength? That's just cruelty.
But, that's like a show.
No, it's not.
Oh, I guess I just was not correct in what I was about to say.
Magic games, wanting to start anew by not fighting forever. Minerva eventually warms up to the idea of change, but Marred Gear shows up to try and kill them both, so she still isn't doing great. She's saved by Sting and Rogue, who received a letter from Erza earlier about helping out, but only—
How very convenient
that they are here at this exact moment, that they are here with their guildmate to save them. How very convenient.
Oh, I got a letter.
We got a letter.
I got a text from a friend. Stick the winner.
Sting and Rogue, who received a letter from Erza earlier about helping out, but only just got there. They distract Marred Gear by fighting him.
No, pause. There is a good moment here that is just like, yo, Erza, you can't write. And then at the final chapter, she tries to read Erza's book. I'm not Erza's book, Lucy's book, and she's darn near illiterate. And I'm like, that was established earlier. Because she's just like, what's all these big words? Can't you just shorten them a little bit? I'm like, that was established earlier. That's fine.
Erza sucks.
Erza's terrible!
And it's the best part of her. She can't read well good.
She don't read the
write
rule well. At one point, there's a filler that wasn't even a filler. It was in the manga. That it was just like, hey, I'm here to do a job, and it was just like, no, you're in the wrong place. And then she's like, hey, what's that? It's like, hey, it's pool. How do you play pool? And she transforms to an armor. And she's like, oh, I just gotta hit this ball. And she hits it and it explodes. She was just like, yeah, I won. I defeated the ball. And they're like, get the f out. She's the best when she doesn't have a sword.
The second is sword and forgiveness, it's just like,
get her out of here.
Out of here.
Get her out of here.
But it's for art where thou art thou.
Her bad acting is so funny. It's the best. But ain't nobody trying to talk about that. They want Meteor destroying Erza. They want, oh, no senses, but I can still destroy you, Erza. That's what the people want.
And that's what they
Not
get.
this lame-o that she is.
This lame-o stupid person that she is.
Minerva and Erza run off to find Lily and Happy. Happy's got a mushroom on his head that turns out to be Transforming Guy, so Minerva uses him to get to the control center where the faces are being operated to go off. I've yet to mention what the faces—
How very convenient that he has the ability to transfer into people's bodies. That Minerva knows that he can do that. That Minerva is the one that saw them, and that he knows how to get and is willing to take them to the control panel. How? We couldn't remove that mushroom, but you just plucked it off.
That's accurate.
Panther Lily can transform. He is very strong. He couldn't do it. And injured Minerva could, and it is solving their problems. Objective.
operated to go off. I've yet to mention what the faces do, haven't I?
I had my water real quick. Swallow some spitting. It's just like wrong pipe.
You can say it.
I mean, there are people that have it. I'm not one though. I hope.
I hope.
Yet to mention what the faces do, haven't I? Imagine 3,000 giant bombs, which don't destroy anyone, but take all magic in the continent away. The only people who could still fight would be Tartarus, since they use curses instead, and could wipe out all their enemies in the
It comes from the same place.
No, magic is destroyed, not curses.
But it comes from the same root place.
No, that's different. Magic, curse. Magic is destroyed, so this over here is destroyed, but this over here remains.
Okay, why is it destroyed? Like, how is it? Is the source of magic destroyed? Or is it, like, suppressed for a trillion years?
The ether nanos in the air.
Okay, then. So it's from the same place as curse.
I just said this.
But that doesn't explain. Just saying it doesn't explain what happened.
Yes, it does.
Yes, the sky is blue.
Okay, what don't you understand? Let's go step by step here.
Okay. Magic and curses come from the same place.
Yes.
If magic is destroyed, why isn't curses destroyed?
Because curses and magic are different. They're not the same thing. They come from the same places, but they're not the same thing. Follow-ups? None. Exactly. Get fairy tailed.
Get FT'd.
All their enemies in the blink of an eye, so yeah, it's kind of a big deal. While that's going on, Gray is fighting the Ice Demon Slayer known as Silver.
Could they just use those Mystic Impels to restore their magic?
Hey, sir, why are you talking when you were just on my neck about curses? I'm not trying to hear nothing from you. Okay, but with that, okay, it destroys the magic in the air, but
I actually don't know if that's what it does.
No, oh, you talking about the faces?
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it does. Let's look up what it does.
Because if it's about the source, they come from the same place, so I'm not trying to hear that.
Okay. Nullify all magic. Yep. History. Oh no.
Oh, what?
Extremely powerful and dangerous weapon owned by the Magic Council that has the ability to nullify all magic across the continent. As such, people who don't use magic or abilities that aren't magic aren't affected by it. The seal is very dangerous. Blah blah blah. Face is unsealed. It is nothing how it works. It just works.
It just works.
It is. Okay. In volume 43, Faces was described as being similar to an EMP pulse, which is used to disrupt the uses of electronic, just as Face is used to disrupt the use of magic. This is just in volume 43. It is not, it's just a supplemental thing. We are just supposed to take it at face value, that it just destroys everything.
So it like fries the magic.
Sure. How? In what way? Machina is not equipped to talk about this. He just says that it does. And that's all we need to talk about.
So, I would assume if it does fry magic, it doesn't, mixing in spells won't work, because all the magic within them would be fried.
What about the magic in the air?
It would be fried.
Okay, but is it non-replenishable?
I would assume so. Like it's fried. Like a microchip fried, you can't, and then it's just fixed. You got to throw it out and get a different one.
This is taking it purely on. This is how it works as an EMP.
Absolutely, he said EMP. What else am I supposed to do? Similar to EMP, like.
The Ice Demon Slayer known as Silver, and recognizes him to have the same face as his dead father. Asking whom he is reveals the man inhabiting Silver is none other than Deliora, the monster that destroyed Grey.
Of course it is.
Grey cannot have development outside of or Deliora. It is physically impossible. That's all it is. The last arc, how did he grow? What changed about him? Nothing. Deliora was not involved. So it was nothing. Atlas, nothing. Wasn't involved. Timro Island. Hey, guess what? That's Erza's daughter. We're involving. We're establishing greater character depths and everything.
That little side thing where it was like Juvia gives him a scarf and he tosses it down. That's the day Deliora attacked.
And most certainly is. It's Deliora.
And
it's terrible.
Putting Silver is none other than Deliora, the monster that destroyed Grey's original home, killed his parents, and took Ur away. His explanation for his appearance being brushed off as it was just another body laying around, he could transfer his conscience in.
I'm pretty sure this was just a lie, though, just so, like, you gotta kill me and then...
Yeah, I think it was.
Inherit my power. Or something.
Following battle, Grey notices ice doesn't work on a Slayer type, so he uses ice cannons full of iron balls to stick a hole right through Deliora. Except it really isn't Deliora. That is Grey's father, and he did die back when Deliora destroyed their village. He's only alive right now because another of the 9 demon gates named Keys is a necromancer that resurrected his corpse 17 years ago. He learned Demon Slayer magic to fight demons rather than join them, and thinking his family was dead, he planned to take down Tartarus from the inside.
Pause.
That plan...
So you could just learn Demon Slayer magic within 10 years, because we've got a timeline of Grey being... it might not even be 10 years. Let's just say 10 years. He is that adept at magic that in 10 years he learns Demon Slayer magic. Somehow, and he is really great enough to be recognized by Maud Gear and his plan to resurrect END to kill Zeref. In 10 years he does this.
This is correct. And
then once upon his death, he is able to transfer that very power to Grey. Somehow. And Grey is now able to do the things that a Slayer can. And also he is better against demons, ... or something for free. And again, let's not forget, he also learned in that time, not just Demon Slayer magic, but the ability to use telepathy, because he spoke to Juvia in her mind, and only Juvia, and he also knows teleportation. Mess knows teleportation, and that's all he knows. Why doesn't he learn anything else? Because apparently you can.
Why haven't all these people that have been around for 40 years have been like, hey, let me learn me some Demon Slayer magic?
There's somebody named Warren in Fairy Tale who knows telepathy, and that's all he knows. Why doesn't he learn anything? Because in 10 years, you can just become a Slayer for free. Why not?
Saw Grey was alive during Magic Games. The Deliora story was nothing more than a tale to get Grey to finally overcome the one thing always holding him back in life, that being his traumatic experience.
I thought he did that in the Deliora art.
I thought so as well, but apparently he didn't.
Now he truly can move on.
Erza's daughter forgave but apparently Grey was still just like that in Deliora. Piece of shit. She was introduced and then forgave. Basically, her problem was introduced and then overcome in the exact same arc. This is like the 4th Deliora arc for Grey, and he still has hang-ups about it.
In life, that being his traumatic experience not being able to defeat Deliora and avenge those he loved. Silver wants Grey to kill him, but Grey can't get him so.
He goes, I'm Deliora. Psych, no, I'm not. But you did get over that Deliora stuff by defeating me, who was not Deliora, but you thought I was, so you did, but you didn't. So you're better now.
Here's my Slayer magic.
Goodbye.
Why couldn't I just get it to you? Don't know.
Who's to say?
It's not like Deliora's ever coming back, so
hey,
don't know why I need you to move past this.
Your trauma is complete, son. It is done now.
Please sign here. That your trauma was sufficiently moved past. So you can get this.
We got protocols here. We gotta take this to the higher ups.
Please display this certification somewhere in your house.
Saying that you are trauma free. Oh my goodness.
What trash.
What absolute duke.
Gray can't get himself to. Since Juvia is fighting Keys at that moment, he telepathically tells her to kill Keys, and by extension him, for Gray's sake. Juvia kills Keys, and Silver is able to pass on, but not before also passing on.
This is another time when they're just like, oh, Juvia can turn into water. She is impervious to physical attacks. The dude grabs him and squishes her, and then she just becomes water, and then goes into his body, and then just erupts out of it. Hey, guess what? That dude had a lot of bane particles as well, so Juvia has bane particles. We've seen what that does to people like Loxus, and Loxus is super strong. Oh, no, she's healed. And everybody around is healed as well, because they also had bane particles, but they're also fine. Here, take this dude's blood to Porliusica, and then come back here with the antidote. Where's Porliusica? Who knows? Where's Mest? We can't teleport, so who knows? But we'll do it, and they're healed. And nothing is ever brought up about this again, except for with Loxus, because he had a lot of bane particles. This is terrible.
Silver is able to pass on, but not before also passing on his Demon Slayer magic to Gray, and informing him he learned that type of Demon Slayer magic because END is a fire demon.
Pause.
With a new sense of purpose.
How did he do that? This was never established that magic could be transferred to anybody upon death, even upon life. Why now?
Not
Why
transferred. Like, you can boost somebody else's, but you can't just be like, here's my magic.
Here is a different type of magic for you. So now you can use Ice Demon Slayer magic. You have a whole tattoo. You have a whole new abilities. You can eat ice. You can affect demons with this ice.
Because again, if you can do this, why isn't everybody just in a circle? Like, here's my magic.
No, only one time. One time dealio. It was established, kind of. Or speculated.
Fire demon. With a new sense of purpose to destroy END once and for all, Gray goes off to help the others. Natsu and Gajeel are currently in a fight against Shark Guy, but he brings in a lake of water mixed with bane particles, and they both almost drown in it before Levy comes in and gives Gajeel some air. Gajeel absorbs the carbon in the water to mix with his iron to turn himself to steel, and is able to beat Shark Guy. With them exhausted, Gray...
This was never established before. He just does this out of nowhere, and then once he does it, he hits them once. They are floating in bane particles. They are breathing it in. They are all knocked out. It is being absorbed in their skin. Again, a little bit is fatal, and it is just not. Do not introduce this absolute fatality of an ability, and then it kills 100 nobodies and nobody else ever.
100 nobody, then nobody.
A sick Loxus come in to take care of the new version of Bane Particles guy and beat him pretty easily with Gray's new abilities. Sting and Rogue also have to fight a new version of Giemma that gave up his humanity to become strong. This fight isn't too long, but it represents them growing as characters and being able to beat their old masters.
How very convenient that everybody just gets to get over their trauma in this arc. Yep. You're fighting the dude that gave you the trauma, so let's do it.
And then what happened was they show up as they're fighting Maud Gear, and then they go to punch him, and then Maud Gear goes, you're late. And then he shows up like, yeah, I am late. But here I am now to help these guys with their trauma. I've got the little piece of paper here for you to sign after, but we gotta fight first. Protocol. I'll start unfurling the paper like, and we know how this is gonna go.
He takes 3 hits and just opens it a little bit more. Y'all almost there. Come on.
It's alright. Also, Erza is battling Dominatrix Chick and fights her with all her senses gone other than her feeling, which is turned up to the highest pain indexed. A gust of wind is like a storm of daggers on her, but she uses this to her advantage by feeling where the pain hurts most and slashing Kyoka in those spots. She still isn't fast enough to stop Face's activation.
Why are you skipping over this?
It was so terrible.
It is established that she has 0 senses. Sight, sense, smell, touch, hearing, nothing except for pain. Even the slightest breeze will...
Even a slight breeze will...
The people around her are just like, this is terrible pain. But she is able to somehow, because of the pain, just go, I can sense where you are, punches her once, while feeling that tremendous pain of the punch, kicks her once while feeling the tremendous pain of that kick, and then slashes and wins because she's Erza.
And Happy literally says that.
It is one of the worst things that I've ever seen. There is no strategy or nothing here. It is just, wow, she is just the biggest strong. Her willpower is so big that she overcomes having 0 senses and feeling nothing but excruciating pain to beat the person in 3 hits.
And everyone clapped.
And everyone claps. And everybody just goes, yep, this is to be expected.
Though, and to make things worse, Acnologia has appeared in search of E&D. Can you guess what happens next? If you haven't seen the show, you wouldn't have a chance of guessing, but Igneal, the dragon Natsu has been looking for years, comes from within him and starts to battle Acnologia. While he's doing that, Natsu goes after Margir on the request of Igneal to get the book of E&D he's been carrying. Gray joins in to help Natsu fight, and though Natsu isn't able to damage Mard after he transforms into his true form, he was only really fighting to give Gray the best shot to take him down with the demon-slaying ice. But what about the faces, you might ask? Have no fear. All the other dragons from before that disappeared on July 7th, 777 also come back to destroy all the faces across the land. I should really explain what's going on now, because otherwise this might sound like pure insanity. The dragons back on that fateful day in 777 all used a secret technique to sort of burrow inside the dragon slayers. They did this to place antibodies in their system so they wouldn't end up becoming like Acnologia, a former human that became a dragon after too long. They also hid inside the dragon slayers to come out at the right moment and try and defeat Acnologia like Igneal is attempting to. It's quite a strange, out there twist, but it does sort of make sense in the greater narrative of what happened to the dragon slayers. And
no, it doesn't make sense in the greater narrative. You enjoy it in the narrative.
And he says sort of makes sense.
It makes no sense. It makes sense in what they were trying to accomplish. Yes. It does not make sense for the story itself. How did this happen?
Yep, secret technique. I've thrown 400 years.
He used that jutsu?
It's basically that. And it's just, other than that one little thing of that barrier, there's been no hints to this. So there's no way that we could have assumed that this was the case outside of that one little moment.
It does sort of make sense in the greater narrative
does
of what
sort of
happened to
make
the Dragon
sense.
Slayers, and we get the final pieces of the puzzle filled in the final arc, so don't worry your pretty little heads. Getting back to the battle, Igneal gets Acnologia's arm, and Acnologia gets almost everything other than Igneal's arm. Like, damn, that is some carnage right in front of Natsu, the person who's been searching 7 years for him and only had a brief reunion before forever having his dad taken from him. Nonetheless, Acnologia losing his arm scares him off, and Zeref reveals himself to take the Book of E&D from Mard, put Mard back.
We're all inside of the Dragon Slayers so that we may one day hope to defeat Acnologia. Alright, Acnologia, it's one-on-one time. Where are the other dragons? If he was enough to get one arm, there was what, 6 of them? 5, 6? One arm, one leg, body, dead.
His arm scares him off, and Zeref reveals himself to take the Book of E&D from Mard, put Mard back in his own book, and destroy him having served his purpose. He re-disappears after that, and the Dragon Slayers all get to reunite with their dragons, including Sting and Rogue. Apparently, their dragons put false memories in their heads that they...
Apparently, they just put false memories in their mind that they just killed the dragon. So, you know,
Why?
whatever. Make them more ferocious and stronger so that they can hype themselves up like we bathed in the dragon blood, and that makes us stronger. But they're actually 2 weak pieces, as we've seen.
Put false memories in their heads that they were dead to help make them believe that they were stronger and push them to try and reach new heights.
Why? We're instantly stronger because we bathe in the blood. Why do we need to work towards anything?
Try and reach new heights. The dragons then ascend into nothingness as they'd lost their souls over 400 years ago when Acnologia killed them, and the only way for them to survive to this point was by being in the Dragon Slayers. With a tearful goodbye, they all go to their...
Why couldn't they go back?
Why couldn't they go back?
They have at least knowledge about Acnologia, history. They have further Dragon Slayer techniques to teach them. Why not? It was a secret technique that allowed them to do here. They're dead, and they were able to interact with the physical world by destroying the face and damaging Acnologia. For what purpose could they not simply go back? There is no answer? Okay.
Full goodbye, they all go to their final resting place, and Natsu has a new goal in the form of taking down Acnologia. Minerva is welcomed back into Sabretooth lovingly. Juvia tells Gray about being the reason his father is dead, and he thanks her for putting him to rest. Natsu and Happy go off for a year-long journey to train, and Makarov disbands the Fairy Tale Guild. Wait, what? Right, that happens for reasons we don't know yet. That isn't even the strongest twist at the end of this arc. Doranbolt is told by Makarov that he was always a member of Fairy Tale named Mest Grider. What happened was he infiltrated the Magic Council and erased his own memory until Makarov would come to show up and discuss what had happened in the past month. Lahar mentions at some point to Mest, when he doesn't have his memory, that Makarov visits him a lot, so he then gets the idea to infiltrate Fairy Tale as Mest Grider, the pupil of Mist again. Point is, he's a real member. I don't want to explain this again because it hurts my brain too much, but yeah, that's what happened. The next season of the anime.
Terrible. What does him being a Fairy Tale member do for anything?
Why can't he just be some dude that wanted to do the right thing?
Why not? Why did he have to be a quadruple agent?
Crossing arms and crossing arms and crossing arms. Till eventually we reach the point we need to.
On a bit of a well-needed tangent and gives us the backstory of why Zeref is the way he is and Mavis' story of founding Fairy Tale. First, Zeref. He was a regular kid with a regular family in an old civilization city. That is, until his family and home were both destroyed by dragons. He spent the next several years learning magic to try and bring back his dead brother, but by dabbling in the darker side of magic, he was given the curse of contradiction, meaning everyone he loved that got close to him would die. His thoughts contradicted themselves to the point he would never know what he wanted. As he went on with his research, he grew more and more hopeless with his immorality and not being able to love someone without them dying. So he created the creatures of the Book of Zeref to try and kill him. At last, after his work was finished, he was able to finally revive his brother in the form of an Aetherius demon that was also meant to kill him. This demon was known simply as Aetherius Natsu Dragneel, or END for short. Igneel couldn't kill END because he chose not to, so he could raise it as his own. Ultimately, his true purpose in life is to kill Zera for good, and yet, with his curse of contradiction, once Zeref dies, his brother, as a creation of Zeref, will cease to exist as well. Quite a twist to know not only is one of our protagonists a demon, but that he's related to someone considered the Black Mage of Death involuntarily. The way other wizards and cultists talk him up, Zeref was this evil wizard who created his monsters to spread havoc across the world, but as early as Tenro Island, it's easy to see that isn't, or should I say, wasn't in his nature. He was a pacifist that wanted nothing to do with the affairs of mortals or to harm them. After so long, he only wanted death, the only thing that seemed so far out of his reach before Natsu was reborn as END. Master Mavis Vermilion, the founding Fairy Tale Guildmaster, is actually intertwined with this story in her own way. Mavis has a simple story. She was a young child on Tenro Island, indebted to a guild her parents worked at before dying. She makes friends with the guildmaster's daughter before it's destroyed and the villagers of the city killed in a war with a rival guild. Mavis and her friend are the only survivors, and stay there for 7 years before anyone else comes looking around on it. In that time, Mavis takes in the knowledge of her library and practices using illusion magic. She gets a group of treasure hunters to take her along to find a sacred stone that got stolen from the island back during the fight, and she slowly gets to know them better. Yuri Dreyer, Makarov's dad, is a short-tempered but well-meaning con artist who charges into danger head-on. Warred, the tree guy from before, is a calmer, jokier member of the group, and he helps get the others out of trouble when needed. Precht, or as he comes to be known, Hades, is quiet and reserved, but he also tries to help people no matter how awkward it may be. These character traits manifest in their magic once Mavis finds Zeref and gets him to teach them how to fight. Warred uses support magic with the ability to help others. Precht uses a precise chain, and Yuri uses powerful but...
So wait, he teaches them how to use magic and then they supplant the magic they want to use?
Yes.
How does magic work here? You can just learn anything you want. So why are you learning the things you've learned? And why aren't you doubling, tripling, quadrupling up?
Why? There's, like I said so many times, there's no reason why Lucy should not know a simple fire spell.
Let me know a simple water spell or something.
It's ridiculous that they don't. They just don't study. That they don't just go, hey, because Kana could just go, hey, card magic, I can just use that as well over here. There's no reason why you're just like, hey, dude, can you teach somebody telepathy? Hey, sand guy, can you teach somebody a little bit of sand stuff? why is everybody except for some people shackled to one thing, and the people that aren't, this is just so random and so perfect the things that they have that it makes no sense.
Uses powerful but destructive lightning. Mavis also learns a few powerful spells from Zeref, including Fairy Law, but...
Why would Loxus's dad also use lightning?
Why wouldn't he?
And then, very conveniently, Loxus finds a lightning dragon Lacrima to implant within him. Why is that the case? Why is that something that happens?
No, his dad gave him the dragon lightning Lacrima.
Okay, so we've already been over this how and why thing with that.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
Okay, these Lacrima, are people creating them, or are they just forming in the world with like strong, like concentrations of magic?
Hey, let's see.
Cause it's just so very odd that people can get their hands on these things. It's just like, cause there's so many devil fruits, and you don't know what they're gonna do, and there is a detriment. So if you get a dud of a fruit, you just got a dud of a fruit. But it's like, here's Dragon Slayer Lacrima for a lightning dragon, which will give you lightning powers. Okay, I guess I'll sell it. Like, eat the bit, like.
Well, the Dragon Slayer, the Dragon Lacrima has a one-sentence wiki page, and it is a rare and expensive Lacrima that gives the individual artificial Dragon Slayer magic when implanted.
Cool.
And as far as what a Lacrima is, it is a magic crystal substance found in Earthland and Atlas. Lacrima can be powered up with different spells and used for different purposes. And then they go into the different types of Lacrima, and they do not say how they are made.
So it seems like Lacrimas are like glass balls. It's like the Boruto Ninja Scroll thing. You're supposed to push magic into it and then artificially give it to people.
Well, not just that. It's well, not just give them to people, because
there's Lacrima that power things and all types of crap.
Yeah, the Lacrima that Loxus used, the Thunder Palace thing, that was the Lacrima. Communication Lacrimas with crystal balls and things of that nature. A tanning Lacrima, sure. But yeah, it does not say what a Lacrima is. It just is. Oh, look, there's a miniature communication Lacrima that's just a phone.
Cool.
She uses it before taking the time to master it.
Man, fairy tale.
Including Fairy Law, but she uses it before taking the time to master it, so she stops aging and is stuck in her 13-year-old body. The friend she'd had for 7 years named Zera was also nothing more than an illusion Mavis made subconsciously all that time ago. Zera died on that island, but Mavis imagined she was still there until she knew about it from Yuri, leading to her disappearing. I didn't mention her too much in my summary, but if you watch the actual show, you would know that kind of hits you right there. In the wake of that...
Then why not mention it? You're doing all this synopsis, and now you're just like, oh, I'm gonna cut out large swaths of, like, emotional plot lines just to go...
For some reason.
And then go, oh, my heart.
No,
like,
this was really impactful, but I just didn't talk about it.
Kind of hits you right there. In the wake of that, with her new friends, Mavis forms Fairy Tale. She came up with the name because she doesn't know what fairies are, or if they even exist. And if they do exist, do they have tails? You won't ever know until you actually try and go and look to find them. Under the lightheartedness of it all, though, Mavis didn't just stop aging from using the Law spell too early. She was also cursed with the same contradiction as Zeref. She didn't know she had it until after a war she won as the fairy tactician when Makarov was born in the newly built guild hall. She was actually the one who named him, and at that moment she understood the true meaning of life. And in a tragic fashion, just as the curse itself is, Makarov's mom dies, leading to Mavis storming off. She tries...
But not Makarov, not the people around her. We saw the first time that we saw Zera.
Maybe it wasn't strong enough, so she had to directly in contact with the hand, and the curse of contradiction is building So, you know, it's going to keep on building until it just wipes everybody and everything out.
That's not how it works.
Oh.
The very first time we saw Zeref, it was just like, boy, these flowers sure is pretty. And then birds start dropping and trees start dying. But nobody else in that room dies.
Okay, if people can research how to get rid of magic to the point where the magic console itself sets up 3,000 magic destroying things, why isn't there somebody out there looking up curse stuff and how to balance it or take it away?
Oh, there was. He just died in the magic console explosion.
So there was one person
Sure.
in history?
Sure, there he goes. He's dead now. And nobody ever... His research died with him.
Like The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, that was that one dude that did the berry surgery. He never taught anybody else. He never practiced it or anything. He never spoke about it. He never wrote it down. Nothing. He's just gone forever. And it's your fault.
Not eating for 6 months, but her suffering was for naught as she can't die. The only other person who understands her pain is Zeref, and when confronted by him, she hugs him and lets him know that she accepts him for who he is. In a moment, Zeref for once thinks the pain of being alone forever is over with Mavis, and they share a kiss. But as the curse of contradiction goes, his overpowers hers, and Mavis dies.
Why?
You kill whatever you love, and he loved her more than she loved him. Bits be crazy, you know what I'm saying? That's how we don't love them hoes.
That's just like a woman.
Woman, you giving everything to the point. I love you so much, I'm gonna kill you. and you.
I don't love you that much. Oh, yeah. You dead.
Oh yeah, and you just alive, Zeref. This is your fault. In simp.
Simping for these hoes.
Simp. Oh.
You done killed the hoe.
You done killed them.
And now you just wandering through life. No hoes.
No hoes. Killing everybody but the hoes. Hey!
Bro, there are people that legit fake that type of way. It's astounding to me.
Absolutely.
You sipping and it's like,
I'm being nice. Hey, I'm holding the door open. Holding it open for you too.
A tragic end to the time for the one chance Zeref had at happiness being slipped away by none other than his own curse, making him want to...
It was a sentence and a half!
No, because this is... I never watched Fairy Tail Zero because at that point I'm just like, I gotta get this over with. This don't tell me that I need to know. In the very next arc, it is revealed that August is the child of Zeref and Mavis. They shared a single kiss. How is this the case?
Oh, they done brought the love together so hard. He simped so hard, he done brought a new life into existence.
Happiness being...
I choose to believe that over the much worse implication of this.
Of capital N necrophilia.
And then, like, some type of magic, like, speeding up of pregnancy. Yeah, I would much rather think he sipped another life into existence than that.
Than the obvious answer.
Flipped away by none other than his own curse, making him want to seal his heart and stay at a pure chaotic neutral before Hades' arrival in the Tenro Island arc. He carries her body back to the guild hall and leaves it in the hands of Precht. He immediately puts her in the resurrection crystal and tries every spell in the book to bring her back to...
Resurrection crystal? Why is this the first time that we're hearing about this? What is a resurrection crystal? Has it ever been used to resurrect anybody else before? Say that somebody dies and their magic is fried because of face. If they die and then go into the resurrection crystal, will that resurrect them to a time before the magic was frazzled or after or what?
Yo, frazzle dazzle.
If somebody has a hole in their chest, does it fix the hole? Do you have to fix the hole?
Life. some point, his endless attempts at spells accidentally created the Fairy Heart, or Lumen Histoire, an everlasting source of magic and secret passed down from guildmaster to guildmaster.
Sure, I just made everlasting magic, y'all. My bad.
This isn't some dude trying to make Viagra and creating penicillin. You created an eternal source of magic.
Whoops. My bad, y'all. It just got away from me.
I just wanted some clippers. I wanted a spell to cut my hair. But here's an endless source of magic.
Perpetual magic, dang.
And why isn't it attached to the tree?
That'd be useful. Or at least some sort of protective spell that just not like, hey, here's a chainsaw and the tree that powers our magic is fallen.
Guildmaster. That's for another time, though. Right now, we need to flash forward to the present. First thing I want to talk about for this season is once again the animation. This season of the anime is called Final Series, and was animated with the help of Cloverworks, which is just sort of a rebranding of A1 Pictures, but this version of the company is known best most recently for shows like Darling in the Franxx with the help of Trigger, and The Promised Neverland. As you might know if you're in the anime scene, all those shows look gorgeous, and
I don't know, because I haven't seen a second of those shows. Because stop just watching popular
I watched one episode of Darling in the Franxx, and as I always say, there's a lot of things that are an easy watch. This was not one of them. They unleashed them terms and conditions, and I just went, not for me.
I'm still scrolling.
I like Trigger, and I'm like, y'all, and I'm like, I will forgive, because it was about giant robots, and I'm like, I will forgive the giant robot thing, because I like y'all, Trigger, so just get me into this. And they did not. As far as Promised Neverland, there is a lot of people saying that not only just season 2 the bed harder than almost anything, but the end of the manga itself was very poor. So
nobody talking about that no more.
Oh no! And that Promised Neverland was one of those things. Like, Promised Neverland, Joe, it's the hypest. And then season 2 skipped a bunch of stuff. And then the ending of the manga was a wet fart. And then they just went, moving on. Hey, look at Jujutsu Kaisen.
Bruh.
That's the new one.
At this point,
Jujutsu
is pretty mid.
Oh, I'm a thumb down the video. I don't know. I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it either. I'm reading the manga, and the story and all that crap, it's just so mid. Like the tournament arc, the class like fighting each other, that was good. But it's so much of Gojo, and I'm just like, I don't really care about him. I care about the main 3. But it's just the him show, and him so strong, and him doing so much strong stuff, and look at the strong, and him so cool and strong, and it's just like, I don't care.
That might be one of them shows that is helped by the animation, because I feel
absolutely
like the animation is, and that's a One Punch Man season 2 scenario.
I feel
where
like
people dropped off.
I feel like people like add 2 points for animation. So if your series is a 7, with animation, it instantly becomes a 9. And if it's a 9, it's an 11.
Yeah.
Jujutsu is like a 6.57.
I think you mean a 9.
I guess I mean 8.59.
You're in the anime scene, all those shows look gorgeous, and Fairy Tail Final Series is no exception. I won't say it's the next One Punch Man or anything like that, but the animation can be better.
Whoops. One Punch Man season 2 wasn't even the next One Punch Man.
Dude, is this all it? Because you know what? A lot of the anime community is anime only, and that animation is just like, mein Gott.
Yeah. Lot. That's enough for a lot of people.
And I'm really hating current Wano One Piece because it's so much of that like flashiness and auras, and I'm just
it's called Sasuga.
And I'm just like, ugh, I don't. That's not what One Piece is about. Don't do this.
It's pretty.
It's pretty.
and a lot of people are just like, oh my goodness, One Piece mother. I'm like, it's been oh my goodness, One Piece mother for the last 20 years. But now you just get to watch the anime. I'll say this. that Kaido versus Odin. Inject that into my veins.
But you could have injected that
money.
You could have injected that from paper form, anime form.
Yep.
In
I could have drew it and just like, yeah,
right into my vein. Cause Odin is money. Oh, dude, these carrot haters are so salty.
Oh yeah. We're recording this 5/6/2021, so the results has just come out, and people are the biggest salt.
Bruh.
There's just people like, oh, y'all botted, y'all VPN and just voted multiple times a day. People are just so unwilling to just be like, yo, maybe Carrot is just really well liked. What about that time that Barto was like number 6? And now he's in the 30s. What happened to that? Why can't people just be like, yo, this is actually a good character?
Because you look at people like Nami, the Nami explosion, she was like 16 to 33 a day, and then it went up to 90 votes a day. And people are just like, well, good job, Nami. But for Carrot, it's just like youth and furries and all this.
Yeah.
And I'm getting into another argument of Carrot can't join the crew.
Suck my balls.
This mother said Carrot can't join this crew because her power move is limited. Her power set is limited. And I went, are we forgetting that Brook joined with essentially a move?
He uses a sword, and Zoro uses it. Zoro uses 3 swords, first off, and he uses it so much better.
And Brook had a move. Are we forgetting about that? Oh, it doesn't make sense narrative-wise because they're almost at the end of their journey. That's her friend. She could sail for 4 months, see 6 islands, and be happy about it.
Oh, but that's probably one of them same people that's bumping Yamato.
Yup.
Okay then, that's fine.
Kara's goal. This mother said Kara's goals don't align with the goals of the crew. The crew's goal is make Luffy Pirate King, and anybody that joins can have that goal. But they all have individual goals on top of that do not align with it. What are you talking about?
There is no reason why Carrot can't join. She's fun enough. She's got a quirky design. She's a woman, which the crew desperately needs.
If it was just like, hey, I don't want Carrot on the ship, or I don't like Carrot, so don't put. I have nothing to say to you.
But saying that it makes no sense.
That this is why she can't join. Suck penis. Oh, she's not as strong as Jinbei. No.
So what?
No. Does each person need to be a Jinbei? She can do things other people cannot, and that's what matters. If it's about who's strong, dump at least 4 of them
And Fairy Tail Final Series is no exception. I won't say it's the next One Punch Man or anything like that, but the animation can be best described as a perfect blend of the last 2 series. It has the colors and movement of 2009 with the designs and sharpness of 2014. It's also got some really nice shots, unlike anything else I've seen in Fairy Tail so far. If anything, this is some impressive animation. Speaking of the story, after a year of the guild being disbanded, Lucy's a reporter for a magazine, and Natsu crashes into the Magic Games at the time to beat the winners all at once. He and Happy get Lucy, and they're off to find the others on another adventure to get the band back together. The arc that comes following these events, the Avatar arc, is actually pretty short and only really serves as a way to get everyone back together after the time skip. Basically, Gray went on a covert operation inside a cult trying to resurrect Zeref, even though, he's still alive and we've known it for over 100 episodes now. Erza took over as temporary master of Fairy Tail, Juvia lived out in a cottage, Wendy and Carla joined Lamia Scale, and Carla learned to transform like Lily, Gajeel and Levy joined the magic
for literally no reason. That does nothing but adds another cute girl to the mix. She fights, but she fights a bunch of mooks that could be taken out easily by Erza. There is no reason for this, and I do not like it.
Why hasn't Happy?
Oh, he just hadn't tried hard enough. That's why.
Oh, okay.
form like Lily. Lily, Gajeel, and Levi joined the Magic Council's custody enforcement unit. Minerva came back to Sabretooth, the Thunder God tribe joined Blue Pegasus, and all the others follow to the guild when they hear about everyone joining back up. At first, you think this arc is gonna be serious, with Hero introducing us to like 9 different weird-ass characters with...
Why would it be serious, sir? Because a bunch of characters came? Because they might be strong? It started out goofy.
9 different weird-ass...
And it's just another just whatever arc. Like, hey, look, this guy has the same magic as that one of the dudes from Timro Island. He got the puppet. I'm just so creative that I'm just like, I'll just reuse this wholesale. I can just do this too. Is it any better than that other guy? No, it is not.
So why do you have it? What are you doing with it? Same.
Oh, we beat that guy already. Oh.
Well, you're not gonna beat me. Why not?
Serious, with Hero introducing us to like 9 different weird-ass characters with little quirks about them, but with their training, Natsu and gang just absolutely destroy them all super quickly. I wasn't expecting it, and I thought it was good subversion of the average fairy tale.
Subversion.
Subversion is gonna start being iconic for me.
I don't think so.
No, I'll take it back. Yeah, iconic is disgusting. But
it's bad. Subversion is really bad.
People put too much emphasis on subversion.
Absolutely.
Subversion could be a positive or a negative. You're saying it's good subversion because you expected a big old dark arc or whatever, and it was just a fast, hey, these people are super strong, and now we get to see it, and lighthearted, and oh my god, I wasn't expecting that. That's not good subversion. Yeah. They didn't set up a expectation for you. You just went in with your own expectation.
And at the end of the day, Erza just uses an armor that she never used before, and it never uses again. Juvia and Gray use the same moves. It's just stronger. Natsu Fireman, and then Lucy, she just got star dresses. And I don't think I've explained the star dress things here, but I probably did. But it's going to be 9 hours. But yeah, so she was a reporter. And no, she was a model first and then a reporter. She was also looking for all the fairy tale members to get them all back together. And she was also training her abilities with these 9 separate star dresses that she has. How?
It's like, we want to resurrect Zeref. Yeah, you get in line, pal. He's been alive for centuries. Moving past that, 2 people are still missing from the...
And also they just go, let's summon one of the, I think it's 12... war gods,
of course,
and Natsu just punches them to death. We never see nor hear about any of the other war gods. And why was this important? And then it's dead, and we're moving on because Natsu did the biggest punch.
Past that, 2 people are still missing from the fairy tale group, Makarov himself and Laxus. Mesh shows up to show Lumen Histoire to Erza and crew, and he explains Makarov went to the Alvarez Empire to the west of Ishgar to try and negotiate a peace between the 2 nations. If negotiations don't go well, he'll threaten to activate Lumen Histoire. He disbanded the guild because he didn't want fairy tale on Alvarez's hit list, as they have a combined might of 720 or so guilds and a special fighting force called the Spriggan 12.
Pause. We never see those other guilds.
Why will we? Spriggan 12 is the strongest.
Spriggan 12.
Spriggan 12 strongest. So why would we need the rest of them bums?
Just the Spriggan 12.
Why would we need a bunch of 4 through 6s when we got the 12?
Why would they introduce that we have all of these guilds under us and then do nothing with it? Why not just go, we don't even need guilds. It's just us 12.
That would make a lot of sense.
And then there was an interview with Machina. It was either Machina or his editor, where they were just like, Machina, make it like 5 or 6 of them. You don't need 12.
No, sir.
He crossed that note out and went 12.
He crossed it out with a 1 and a 2.
And it's just like, you didn't need 12 of them. Because it's just like, hey, whatever. Here's just this dude. And he gets beat by Loxus. Never to be seen again. Okay.
The only thing I could think of is he thought Spriggan 12 sounded cool. Because
guess.
Spriggan 6 does not have the same, punch.
I guess, but dude, is that all it takes?
The Spriggan 9,
Is that all it is? You gotta first go Spriggan.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta write that down, and then it's go, okay, Spriggan 5. Yeah. Spriggan 15. Nah, that's not what. Spriggan 10. Getting there. Until you get to Spriggan 12, and then you go, okay, now I gotta design 12 different members. And then have them have compelling powers, abilities, personalities, and fights. He did like 3 of them. Because there's a good couple of designs. A couple of them have busted powers. That's just like, there's no way that we can defeat this guy. And then they do.
There's no way. What about this way, clenched fist?
Spriggan is the name of the Emperor in Alvarez, but in Ishgard, he's known as Zeref. I mean, with 400 years, why not start up your own civilization and get that going? Not like you got anything better to do. He doesn't...
Pause. Did no child ever just go, hello, Emperor Spriggan, here is an apple. Thank you, child.
I love you.
Dead. Why is he just so comfortable to walk down an entire street of cheering people when he's sitting in a forest and a wolf attacks him and the wolf all but explodes?
See any of them as more than pawns anyway, so they don't die in his presence. And
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. But he did this. It was some wolves that attacked him, and they died.
Nothing but an enemy, but still felt the love for him, I guess.
Okay, sure. I guess. No.
presence, and his main goal was to destroy Acnologia with this new nation, but now he wants Lumen Histoire to do the same thing. Makarov isn't willing to give up Lumen Histoire, so he almost dies, but the fairy tale rescue team is there to save him.
How?
So he envelops
Very
him.
convenient.
He envelops him in a spear that is, I guess, gonna explode, and somehow Mess goes within that spear and gets out of that spear, suffering 0 damage, and gets away, as Zeref, one of the most powerful wizards of all time, just looks at him. Just watches him as he just looks at, as they look at each other, and he just teleports away. This is a sequence of events. And then this long whole, hey, where's Makarov? It is solved within 3 chapters of it being introduced. Where's Makarov? Let me teleport to him and get him. Here he is. I'm back, my children. You disbanded us.
For what reason?
But
I guess it was pretty useless to do that now, huh?
especially since it was just like, please don't attack us. No. And I will kill you and deliver your body to Natsu, and then he'll kill me. Everybody wins.
Right, it's a win-win-win. Why not just die?
Huh? Come on. Yeah.
Okay, you're not understanding a plan. Let me unfurl this.